shut down the club. Bitches show me love. Feet on the couch, feet on the couch.
It's Feet on the Couch. I'm Miklo Bands. We're here with Yvesdeep.
Nice to meet everybody.
Yeah. Alright, bro. So how we usually get into these interviews is like, how'd you start off getting into music, like as a kid and shit like that? What were your inspirations like as a kid and shit like that?
So I've always been just hooked on Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Scott is like my person that I'm like idolized by and like idolized.
When did you find Travis? Like when was the first time like you listened to Travis Scott the first time?
So the first time I listened to Al Faro, his very first debut, that was on SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like really when I started around there and shit. So that's basically a little backstory and like how I found him.
Mm-hmm.
Upper Echelon was just the craziest song for me because like it threw so much energy and just like who Travis was as like a person, just like really like made me want to be not like him but remembered like him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little backstory as to how I came upon Travis and shit.
Alright, and how did you like get put onto like music like as a kid and shit like that? What were you put
So,
onto as a kid?
My mom has always just listened to like Tupac, Biggie, you know, all the notorious rappers and stuff because she herself lived there and we all just, in a sense or form, just kind of heard it and stuff, you know, around the house and stuff. So just kind of heard it, figured it out, and then from there I just like fell in love with it. And then once I heard Travis, it's just like a different realm for me because he listened to DJ Screw, all those people, you know what I mean? So.
And how did that like develop into your sound that you got now? Like the shit you're making now, the shit you're producing at the moment.
So, 2020, my brother actually showed, he just one day was just blasting music, like through his speakers. So I was just there and I was like, dang, okay. So what is this? You know, like, what is this that you're doing? And he had a little board. He was doing it on a phone at the time. And he had a board, a tiny, tiny little board, mixing board. And one day I just grabbed it and just started playing with it, and really it sounded like shit. But after that, I figured it out, and then I just fell in love with the house scene. But I was always like towards the rap game too in my producing. So when I was producing
so you want
house
to make
music,
beats as well as make house music and shit like that?
Yeah. So right now I figured out that I want to just do rap beats. I just want to do rap beats, you know, just do all of that. And still produce anything. I can produce any beat that's asked for. But I'm more towards the rap side because that's who I want to be. I want to be like a second Wheezy, a second, you know, the list just goes on from there.
And what are you working on currently? Like what do you got cooking up currently, or what are any of your releases that you really like, that you really have like, you're like, damn, those shits are dope, like y'all gotta go check those out?
Yeah, so me and my brother actually, we just released it in November as Twin Brothers. It's called Bansali.
Yeah.
So what Twin Brothers means is just twin brothers. So we just bring our sounds together and it's just crazy. But from this point out, what I have coming out is a lot of really cool, crazy beats. You know, I can't really give too much, but that's as much as I can give right there. It's just, there's a lot coming within the next couple of months. I don't know when. I'm still working on certain collaborations. At the end of this month or next, we're supposed to be going to Morocco. Because my father's from Morocco. That's my actual name is Yusuf. That's where and then Yvesdeep means sharpshooter with deep music.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So.
Nice. So like, how did you like come up with that name like at the time? Like, you know what I mean?
So at the time, it's a funny story actually. 2020, I came out that I just wanted to be a DJ. Nothing about producing. Nothing like that.
So you just wanted to like spin.
I just wanted to spin tracks,
like
yeah.
At the club and shit like that.
Yeah. And then sooner or later, I'll figure out how to produce.
And what is the program you've been using?
I use Serato Pro. Yeah, Serato DJ Pro. And back to your question, my name actually was never Yvesdeep. It was DJ YZ. It was just the first and last of my initials.
Yeah.
So, that's how I came on, and then more down the line, I tried to go back to my roots and go into Arabic because I'm Moroccan and Mexican, so I clashed both of them together.
Yeah.
And that's where Yvesdeep really comes from, just sharpshooter with deep music.
Nice, cool. And like let's get a little backstory. Like how was it for you growing up and shit like that?
It was, you know, I was very blessed. I was in a very blessed household. My bad.
That's okay.
I was always blessed, you know, like I never you know, I was fortunate enough that my mom was who she was and like did what she did for us and raised us to be the kids that we are today. But it was always good. There was no problems. I never had a single thing wrong with me. You know, I was always in the right area. I was always around music regardless, you know, so.
Cool. And what would be like your top 5 like songs currently that you got like in your playlist, like that you're playing like yourself? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, that's a very good question. Right now, since I'm working on certain beats that revolve around the time Snoop and them were around, I'm kind of just listening to Still Dre, Ain't Nothing But a G Thing. 90210 is always there for me. That's Travis' song. It's my favorite song ever. That was 3, so I had Still Dre, Ain't Nothing But a G Thing, 90210, Cardigan by Don Toliver, because Cactus Jack is the label I thrive to be in. And the last one is Changes by Tupac. And Dear Mama, that's 6. Dear Mama, just because it just shows like what we went through as a kid and like how my mom raised us and like how she just made it to be today. You know what I mean? So
Cool.
Yeah.
And do you have any like collaborations with like different people, different artists, or anything coming up that you?
You know, I do, but I can't really say much. The manager said to keep that a little lower. You'll just have to really wait for the next couple of months. But hopefully this month, but if not this month, in 2 months, there should be some stuff rolling out, hopefully. After all the mixing and mastering and all that good stuff.
And how's your workflow to like make a beat, like make beats and like make music and shit?
So that's a good question. I've never gotten this asked before. When I put a beat down, or want to put a beat down, I just listen to that genre. Like I said, I was working around this genre, so I'm just listening to their music, trying to figure out what they used, asking my uncle, my mom, like, because they know anything, you know, better than anybody. So that's like how I do it, and I just kind of like do my research on the artist, see what era they're around, see like what label they were signed to, kind of target those people, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
So you target those people for like samples or stuff like that?
Not really samples. It's just like what percussions they would use.
What percussions they would use? So you try to go off of that and get inspired by those. Right.
And once I figure out that, then I build my beat around it.
And what DAW do you use to produce?
I use Ableton.
Ableton? Cool. And like, how did you first get into producing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when was the first time you were like, oh yeah, I actually want to do this shit? Like, yeah, I know you said you really want to be a DJ at one point, but when was the point that it transitioned over from being a DJ to producing?
My brother. Just like, I would see him produce a song and it just sounded like I just wanted to make my own sound. You know what I mean? So, the one song that I can mention that I've already kind of previewed or just picked at was one of my songs that I want to drop is called Vaquero. And it just gives you straight vaquero vibes, you know, like cowboy vibes, because I'm a cowboy too, but I'm also Moroccan. So it just brings those two together, and my brother would just really target like the Europe side as to where we're from.
Yeah.
So once that happened, I was just like, what are these guys using? Like, what are the frequencies they're using, you know? All that stuff.
Like French house and all this stuff.
Yeah, like deep house, like Michael Bivy to Sidak to, you know, all those crazy. My inspiration when I first started producing was James Hype, DJ from London. Just like how he plays with the board and how he does all this crazy stuff just, you know, makes me go crazy. So
and how'd you get put onto James Hype?
It was just like when I first started DJing, the only advice my brother really said was just sit there and just watch somebody that you thrive like you want to try to be like. So 7 hours a day, I would try to just look at what James Hype would do, you know, what kind of moves he does on the deck, how to beat match, how to do all these crazy stuff. So
that's how you learned how to like do all that?
I learned everything through him. And then my brother showed me a lot too.
And showed you how to produce and stuff like that.
He's my partner.
And how do you usually make music? Do you usually go to the studio or do you do it at home?
Nah, right now I do everything from home.
From home?
I got everything I need at the house.
Cool. And what's your producing setup look like?
Well, shit, I just got 2 Pioneer speakers, my laptop, I got my deck, and not much really. I'm just building my thing little by little.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh yeah, because you know everybody does their
Mm-hmm.
own thing. You know nowadays with like the power of computers and shit like that. Nowadays you can basically produce anywhere, make music anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's
okay.
cool.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah. That one song you guys got like has a real European vibe. Like I told you,
Mhm.
I was like that shit. I could hear it like popping over there, like
Yeah.
in clubs and like friends and shit like that.
Yeah.
Shit like that, cause like my sister was really into all that music like back in the day, like I think like '08, like shit like that. She was actually living over there for like 2 years and shit, so she would always be like fucking putting me on and shit.
Yeah, I feel that. No, yeah, bro. You know, another person that I really looked up to in DJing was Carl Cox.
Mm-hmm.
He was like around the time like when Space Ibiza was going down, like all of those crazy stuff. You know, like the people who know house music know Carl Cox.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody knows him. Michael Bibby is like another person I look up to because my brother showed me him, and just all the frequencies were just, you know, freaking crazy, you know, just wild.
Mm-hmm.
So from that point on, I just figured out the 3 DJs I wanted to look after.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Carl Cox, James Hype, and Michael Bibby.
Mm-hmm. So those are your main inspirations, you would say,
In DJing, yeah.
in DJing. And what would be your main inspirations like for rap beats and rap in general? I know you'd say Travis Scott, probably the first one, but besides Travis Scott, like on some shit, like what would you say? Like you don't have to name a particular order, particular amount.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just name a few that you know come to your head.
Yeah, so like I said, just like old hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Just
So like 90s hip hop,
Yeah.
early 2000s hip hop and shit like that.
just because their BPMs were 92 to 94, maybe even, you know, nothing far.
Yeah, it was like slower beats, but like
Exactly.
hyper lyrics. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like a lot of people nowadays like can't really do that. Like some people can't. Like you know what I mean? There's a lot of people that do that shit though.
No, yeah. So like to answer your question a little bit more, yeah, just 90s, and I just look after house music, just the crazy flow of it. Cause when a lot of DJs ask me, hey, like, what do you do? I was like, you know, I play house music. I just look after, cause like I told you, we're not supposed to be here. We belong in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Like me and my brother are named after prophets. You know, my real name is Yusuf. The real prophet is Joseph. Hamza is like the person, you know, you see everywhere, and just the European side of everything. Just I love the house parties.
Mm-hmm.
I just loved everything that they did, and I just wanted to be like them.
Cool. So you wanted to emulate that vibe, you know what I mean, to
Yeah.
yourself and make it your own.
Yeah, I actually have a couple shows. I'm leaving on Thursday, San Marcos, Texas. I got booked for a frat party, and then I'm gonna try to play somewhere else there, and just like travel.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
Mhm.
That's dope that you got shit going, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I always do live streams as well.
And how was 2020 for you? You know, I know it was a crazy year for
Yeah.
everybody.
You know, 2020, 2020 for me was a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
It went from doing not music, from first just being wanting to be a doctor, because my aspiration is to be a doctor, a radiologist.
Mhm.
And then music starts coming into play, and I'm just there, and I'm just like, okay, so what's next? And then all of that happens, and then COVID hits, you know, just like crazy. No more shows, no more nothing.
Yeah, everybody got
So
like,
everything
shut down.
just goes virtual, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why I started doing a lot of live sets and all that good stuff. But I mean, it was a horrible year. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Mhm.
It was a really bad year, but it was also a very good year towards the end
Mm-hmm.
because of all the, you know, thank God, like I'm getting all these blessings, being able to have an interview here with you, you know.
Hey, we appreciate you coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate y'all for sure. But like to answer your question, it was a really crazy year, roller coaster.
Mhm.
It was a roller coaster of events, and it was just crazy.
Cool. And what do you think, well, to keep going with like 2020, like
Mhm.
what plans do you got for 2021? Like what do you got set? What are you ready to like capitalize on 2021? You know what I mean? You don't gotta
Yeah.
say anything or name drop anything, but just like in your own like
Mhm.
words, like for yourself. You know what I mean? Your own brand, everything about yourself. You know?
Yeah. So to answer that question, 2021, I just wanna. Well, that's a really good question. 2021, I want to be known as Yvesdeep, but in a sense where it's not Yvesdeep's like scene, but like it's like his year. You know what I mean? Like it's my year. I'm very blessed, and I've been getting a lot of places that I've been wanting to play for them. You know, I'm sitting here with you. You know, going to Morocco with Kevin Gates, because my dad's like very good friends with him and all that good stuff. So
Oh, nice.
I'm hoping to get out there soon. But to answer your question more, I'm just ready to play shows, and you know, if Coachella happens, I would love, you know, I'm trying to get there, you know,
yeah, bro.
And I've only been doing this for a year.
You can do anything, bro.
I appreciate
Anything you
that.
set your mind to, you can do that shit. I
Yeah,
truly believe
no, I
that shit.
appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's dope, bro. Hell yeah, you got a lot of shit coming. And you know, what do you think about like the state of like the EDM scene here? You know what I mean? Because we're based here at the moment and shit like that. What do you think about the state here?
It's beautiful, bro. Honestly.
We do have a really good EDM scene here.
Awesome.
There's a lot of love for EDM here.
Oh yeah, it's an awesome scene. You know, it's a very great scene here. But it's I didn't even know that there was this many artists in El Paso.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. There's a lot. There's a lot of people doing shit. There's a lot of people doing clothes, doing art. I'm trying to get interviews with other people that are doing different shit, but at the moment I'm just doing like artists that are musicians and producers and stuff like that. Because that was the main people that were recommended.
Yeah. I feel that. No, I really fuck with what you're doing here. It's like a second no jumper, and it truly can get there. Truly, honestly, like it's an El Paso thing, and that's what I love the most about it, is that you're putting on for our city, and I'm trying to do the same thing.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm just trying to like. My main goal was to make people better understand the artists that they see just on an online page making beats, because like there's so much saturation with the market.
I agree.
You know what I mean? So like when you come at it from a business perspective, because I'm a very business oriented person, I'm gonna come at it like, okay, so they just need more content from these specific people to actually understand that these people are not just a computer program that's like shitting out a picture like for people to like and shit like that.
Right.
Because personally, to me, like when I see the equivalent of a like, it's like if you go up to me and you're just like, yeah, bro. Like, if you comment, like, have, like, something to say or some shit like that, that's dope. You know what I mean? Because, like, it's actually being social on social media rather than just, like, feeding into an algorithm of taps and views and shit like that.
I agree with that hella, and, you know, to elaborate more on that, like, that's how I see it, too. Now, Instagram, for me, is just, if you don't follow me, you get them followed right back. Mm-hmm. And if you don't like what I'm doing, then just unfollow me, you know? Like, I don't really care at this point. I don't care about followers. I don't care about the fame. I just want to be known as a second Wheezy, you know, like someone crazy that produces and can DJ exotic. Because I don't DJ regular shit. You know?
Yeah, you don't DJ shit that people.
You know, like you don't hear it every single day
and shit like that.
Yeah, that's how much I can really say on that. You know, it's crazy what the internet is today and social media.
You can do, like the thing is with the internet, like, and I've said it in another interview, like I've said it before. Like, the internet allows you to go anywhere and anything at any moment from your desk. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can literally go viral the next day. You know what I mean? You never know. You never know what's just gonna happen. But yeah, dude. Like, the internet is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful tool. I would say.
I agree with you, hella. You know, that's how I've been. You know, fast forward to high school. If I would have DM'd someone with a check mark, that would have never got a DM back. You know. Mm-hmm. And now they put you in primary, general, and it's very easy to communicate with people now, you know? When they see what you're, like, as the same aspirations and, like, have the same hustle and passion as they do, then they'll give you a chance. But if you're gonna bullshit and, like, not do anything, then you get, you know?
Yeah, because, like, the thing is, you gotta work it. You gotta put the work in.
You gotta want it. You know? And I would say, like, for myself, I don't really care about the fame. I don't care about the fame. What I'm more caring about is just the simple fact of my music being remembered, and a great producer and a exotic DJ from El Paso, Texas, when I'm really, you know, clashing both nationalities together, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
So.
That's dope. Hell yeah, man. And, man, I just lost my train of thought.
No, you're good.
But, I had another question. So, when was the first time that you actually, like, when was the first time that you fell in love with music? You know what I mean? Like as a
Yeah.
kid and stuff like that. Like what was like the first song that you heard that you were like, oh shit, like music is badass. Like, you know what I mean? Because everybody has like those first experiences. You know what I mean? It could be like when you were listening to your own music, listening to music your
Right.
mom put you onto or some shit like that. But you know what I mean? What was the moment that you were like, damn, music is something else? You know what I mean? Because everybody that's really into music, I feel, has had that moment where they're like, yo, like this shit's fucking crazy. Like,
Crazy, yeah. That's a good question. I don't want it to sound biased or anything, but when I heard Upper Echelon by Travis, and he was nobody. It was really just his first SoundCloud album.
mm-hmm.
And then I go by one day and I'm like, yo, who the hell is this? Like, who is this? You know what I mean? And just the energy he brings and everything just like all together. And then you hear other rappers, and then you hear Tupac, and you hear Biggie, the shit that my mom would listen to, was just crazy. And like, it's a different world, you know?
Yeah.
And that's really when I started to fall in love with music, not just because it was Travis Scott. It was just a dude I had no idea about that just threw stupid energy and was very consistent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and just like going back to the legends, you know, it's just like, it's just crazy. The beats they would do, the synths they would use, the percussions. It's just music's
wild, bro.
music's crazy. You know, you can do anything with it.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah, that answers my question, bro. And you know, because I think, is there anything else that you'd want me to get onto the interview?
Well, I mean, it's a very good question. You know, just there's just a lot coming here. You know, like there's a lot that is coming from Yvesdeep and somebody else that's still me, but it's a different character and just has crazier music that has not been revealed yet. Because, there's Bansali, and that's Twine Brothers, me and my brother. But then there's Yvesdeep's music, where you hear from Vaquero to the craziest things. The only really thing I can hint at is that the name of this this beat that I'm doing back in the day should be called Gangsta, because of just the flows they would have back in the day, like they just went from slow beats to fast beats to percussion to just using nothing to doing something with it, but yeah, man, I just wanted to thank you so much for having me on this interview. I'm very blessed, and I got a lot coming out this year, like a lot, and hopefully play Coachella.
Oh yeah, yo, we'll be looking out,
Most definitely.
seeing what's up with you, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And to wrap it up, I ask everybody this question: what's a message that you would have to your fans, new fans, people that are watching this interview that haven't heard about you or anything like that? What's a message that you would have for them?
Don't give up. If somebody tells you can't do something, don't listen to them. So many people ratted on me for being DJ YZ and just being a wannabe DJ, but fast forward to today, I'm very blessed to have the opportunities that I've had. And you just gotta want it. You just really gotta want it, because if you don't, somebody else is gonna want it more than you will. And you just gotta be passionate in your craft and be consistent, because if you're not consistent, you're not gonna get anything out of it. But to wrap up that question, I would say just never give up on your dreams, and anything is possible if you put your mind to it.
Oh yeah.
You just have to be very consistent.
Oh yeah, you have to put in the work. If you're not gonna put in the work, if you're not gonna be like obsessed with like what you're gonna do, like you probably shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah. You really.
If it's not gonna take over your life to where you're kind of like, I can see well, I wouldn't say you can see the future, but like I'm saying, like you can see yourself doing that shit. Like,
Most definitely. You just gotta want it. You just gotta want it, or else somebody else is gonna want it more than you will, and they'll take your spot.
Yeah, because dedication beats like
everything.
Dedication.
Yeah, you just gotta be passionate about what you want to do in life.
Fuck yeah.
That's what I gotta wrap up right there.
Hell yeah, bro.
Well, bro, I appreciate you hella.
No problem, bro.
Appreciate you hella.
I shut down the club, bitches show me love. Feet on the couch, feet on the couch.